Hey, how's everybody doing? It is I, Nashon, and it's good to see everyone. All one or two people who are watching this right now. Um, so I kept saying I was going to make a vlog and make vlogs on a regular basis, and I'm actually going to keep my word. And it's one of those things that in 2013 I really want to do, is to have it be almost weekly. Um, yeah, that's the plan, Stan. We'll see how it works. So today I kind of wanted to talk about me and my beliefs and my journey as far as finding something to believe in and live for as far as like a religion or spiritual kind of thing is concerned. A lot of people, when they deal with me, they don't know what to say. They know that I don't consider anything I do religious or too spiritual per se, but they do know that it's something that I feel very strongly about. I gotta tell you, I grew up as a Baptist Christian. Went to a Christian school for a long time. First 10 years of my life, I was in a Christian school. I think I owe a lot of the person I am to that. Even though I can't sit there and say that I believe the Bible verbatim and all that kind of stuff, I will say that a lot of the basic morals and such are definitely there, and they're instilled in me because of that. There's not a single moral, I think, that you can learn from the Bible that would hurt you as a person or hurt you as a character. Or perhaps I should use the word principle. I mean, we're talking honesty. It's always a good thing. Trustworthiness. We're talking about love, acceptance, patience, discipline, perseverance. Those principles. And, the Bible does, teach those to you. A lot of people who are against the Bible, they say the Bible's horrible. All it teaches is hate and hellfire and brimstone. And yes, that is a humongous portion of it. That's the portion of it that I look at and I say to myself, does it really got to be all that? But, in the end, I definitely think that some of those morals really helped me. I became a pretty well-rounded guy. People got to know me, and they felt like I was a trustworthy person. They think I'm a sweet, nice, guy. And for the most part, I am. I mean, just like any human being, I have triggers and things that can make me, get out of character and do things I maybe don't want to do. And I haven't made all the best decisions in my life. I've made some very horrible decisions. I've done some very bad things. I've made some very huge mistakes. And part of my things that I believe is that it's not necessarily what has happened to you, but your reaction to the things that have happened to you. It's not exactly your past that defines you, but your reaction to your past. Because you can't change your past, you can't do anything about it, but, how do you let it affect you in your life and your decisions? I struggled with trying to decide, what to do. I always said that there's got to be some truth. I looked at a lot of different religions, and a lot of them had the same context, the same ideas. And it says, well, those must be universal truths. And that's what I use the term universal truths a lot. And when I discuss how I feel about things, as far as religion is concerned and such, I say universal truths because they're things that the different religions say that are just plain, they're all true. It's undeniable. It's infallible. It's indisputable. Okay? And so I took those and I said, well, I'll make those the basis of kind of what I'm going to do as far as my philosophies and how I'm going to live my life. And I figured that wasn't a bad idea. I thought that was actually a pretty good idea. I thought it was actually something useful. And I did. And it has been useful. It's been a great asset to me as far as defining who I am and my character, as far as how other people feel about me and my character. But then I knew that there was more out there, that what I was doing is the tip of the iceberg. I knew there was something else. There was something I was missing. I came in contact with an individual, a friend, and they showed me some concepts and ideas. And their ideas were very close to Hinduism, and mine are very close to Taoism and Buddhism for the most part. I'm very much into the power of self, the power of what you're able to do on your own, your inner self. And I'm also very much into the energy of the world, respect for life, respect for nature, and things of that nature. So I'm very much into those two things, they kind of guide me as far as the closest thing I could say to anything religious, that those two things guide me. The power of myself and the respect for the world and the power itself of the world and of nature, those two things kind of affect a lot of my decision making. And then wanting to hang on to those universal truths and those principles, those have also helped me. Living a bad life and a negative life is going to have negative consequences. Living a positive life will have positive consequences. I mean, all religions are based around these things. Whatever the positive consequences for your particular religious group, religious sect, or as far as culture is concerned, it's all there. Whatever that culture is concerned, what's negative for that culture happens to people who do negative things, and what is positive for that culture happens for people who do positive things. So, to me, that's a universal truth. You have to respect the world. You have to respect nature. You have to respect life in itself and the energy of life, the energy that everything in life gives off. And you've got to respect the power of yourself, realize the power in yourself. And from there, I met someone who actually helped me push it even further, take it to the limit of recognizing my power, recognizing what I'm capable of, recognizing what abilities I do have, and then being able to enact those abilities or use those abilities. So, I've been told a few things about the type of person I am and what I'm capable of doing, what I can do. And I'm not going to share those at this particular moment. I never want to feel like I'm bragging about anything, but there are some things to me that once I realized that and started working with it, using it, working within it, I realized I can really accomplish some pretty amazing things. And I'm also prepared more for things that happen to me because I understand now why things happen, why I run into certain people and things of that nature. Another aspect that I think of that I adhere to is that all things happen for a reason. So not even the most minuscule thing now, I look at those things and I say, there's a purpose for this. There's a reason, an ant might crawl across your table. There's a purpose for that. The ant got there for a reason. In this chaos, in this world of billions and billions of people and billions of things, there is a reason why you bump into a specific person at a specific time during a specific event. I don't think it's by chance. I don't think it's, just happens. Everything happens for a reason. And sometimes you won't realize those reasons until later. But when you start opening your mind to the possibilities, it's a lot easier to absorb and read and understand things a lot better. And maybe some of the stuff I'm saying is kind of crazy or sounds strange to people, but I can promise you that I feel more in control, more well-rounded, and more, I hate to use the word, but more powerful than I think a lot of people do. I'm more sure of things. It's very rare that I end up in a situation where I say to myself, there's no way of getting out of it, because I know there is. And I know that the way of getting out of it is only going to happen through me. Even people's willingness to help you out of a tough spot, it is an indication of the kind of person you are and the kind of power you possess and the kind of influence you command over those people. So even someone bailing you out of a tight spot, it really, yes, it is also attributed to them and their kindness, their generosity, their ability and willingness to help, but it also is indicative of your character and who you are. So holding on to these things, really meditating on myself, meditating on my faults and my positive parts, accepting the faults and deciding what faults I'm going to fix, Overcoming any obstacle is always a case of seeing what the obstacle is, laying out a plan of how to overcome the obstacle, and knowing what is impossible for you to do and what is possible for you to do. And then you set out to do the steps you said you were going to do to overcome that obstacle. Because so many people have a plan and they never want to enact it. And that's a big portion of it. To affect change in behavior, to affect change in habits, you have to understand the habit, understand why you have the habit or why you exhibit that behavior, why you do a specific thing. You have to look at why it's occurring and correlate that with what you do about it, and also correlate the consequences of it. And then once you can combine those things together, you can have a solid foundation of this is why I do this and this is what happens when I do it. Then you make a decision. Do I want to continue to do it? Yes or no? When you decide no, then you start working on ways to cut out the behavior. Those are simple things that I've learned, I've practiced. And it's all from the power of the self. It's all from the power of me. And that's where I base a lot of things on. So people have asked me, what are my beliefs? What religion do I have? As I said, it's a lot of my main beliefs come from the universal truths that I have, and those principles from those universal truths. And then we take a look at, Taoism and Buddhism, the respect for the earth and nature and life and energy in itself, and understanding the power of the self and believing the power of the self. And once again, please understand, I know there's more to Taoism and Buddhism than that, but those are the things I've pulled from it that I said that this is kind of the key root to what they're trying to do. And then on top of that, I know that all things happen for a reason. There is a purpose for every single solitary thing that happens there. And then just understanding the power of yourself and believing the power of yourself and doing what is necessary to overcome all obstacles, all situations, all difficulties. That's what I believe. If you think it's crazy, if you don't believe in this whole energy thing, or if you don't believe in the nature, or if you don't believe in the power of your own self, I'm not knocking you, but this is what works for me. This is what I've put together. This is what I think is the closest thing to the truth, and it's what's made me feel extremely confident. It's made me feel extremely comfortable. It's made me feel extremely happy, and ready to take on anything and take on anybody. So there you have it. And I guess I'll see you guys again sometime soon. Love you all.